Excited is not even the word. This is what we are making. Let's get started. Hello everyone and welcome to Crafting with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. Guys, I am so excited about this. I can barely contain myself, and I had a very hard time keeping my composure when I was at the heat press, but we will not digress. We are going to be making this together. I am going to take you step by step through the full process. You can already see how much I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, even though this design looks big, I did not have to use a wide format printer because as long as you have 8.5 by 14 sublimation paper, you will be just fine. Okay, at the end of this video, if you find it helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Now, without further ado, let's head right over to Cricut Design Space. The materials I'm going to use for this project include Sublimation HTV for dark fabric. I use Cricut heat-resistant tape, butcher paper, my pen weeding tool. This shirt is a Gildan 100% cotton shirt. I used a long standard grip mat, the Cricut brand. This paper is sublimation paper and it is 8.5 by 14. My ink is Hippo Sublimation ink and I use my Epson EcoTank 2760 series printer with the sublimation ink inside, and my heat press is the StarCraft 15 by 15 clamshell, and I will be connected to my Cricut Explore Air 2. I am in Cricut Design Space and I'm connected to my Cricut Explore Air 2. The first thing I'm going to do is go over here to the left panel. I'm going to click on text and I am going to turn on my caps lock and I'm going to type the word love. The next thing I'm going to do is change the font from this Cricut Sans. I'm going to change it to a font that's called Impact. It is a system font that I downloaded from dafont.com. The next thing I'm going to do is bring these, I'm going to resize this just a little bit so I can see it better. And what I'm going to do is bring the letters closer together just by using the letter space option. And I'm paying attention to how close the letters are going together. And I think they look good here, even though the O and the V are not as close as I would want them to be. I think it's okay to just keep it like this. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is resize this whole thing to a width of 11.413 by a height of, I'm going to click unlock, and my height is going to be 5.248. Okay, and then I'm going to lock it back. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to use a familiar photo. I'm going to click upload and then I'm going to go to view all because it's a photo that I've used previously, so I'm not going to be uploading it again. All right, I'm going to just scroll down and find the photo. It's this photo right here. I'm going to click add to canvas and view. The photo is going to come in big and it's unlocked. I'm just going to go ahead and lock the photo and I'm just going to change it to a width of 8 just for now. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is click arrange and move the photo to the back of the letters, and I'm going to change the letters from a basic cut to a pen. Okay, so now I have the photo behind the letters and I can make the photo a little bit bigger so that I can see that I have everyone's face in there before I start to do any slicing. All right, so now I can see my son, I can see I'm in there. All right, and I think it's better if I actually have my son over here in the O instead of in the L. It just looks a little better to me that way. All right, and you know, when you make yours, you will do it the way that you see fit. All right, and I want to make sure the L is not cut off in any way. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is select everything on my canvas. I'm just going to select the whole thing, and I am going to slice this. Now, if you are making this same project and you have a photo and you have your letters and you don't have the option to slice, it means you have too many layers selected at one time. So if you look at mine, you can see that I have 2 layers right here in my layers panel. I'm going to click slice, okay? And I can move this photo out of the way. Okay, so I can actually delete this. I don't need this anymore. And I'm going to bring my view down to right at 75%. Now, another thing that I don't need anymore is those letters, the first letters that I had. I don't need these, but instead of deleting them, I am just going to turn them off. Okay, I definitely want to make sure that my image is still at 11.413 by 5.248. It's perfect. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to add an offset to this. Okay, so my offset, I'm going to click offset and I'm going to change the offset to 0.10. I'm going to click apply and you'll see the offset will turn black. And even though that looks fine, I definitely don't want it to be black. I want the offset to actually be red. I want this darker red. I think I'm going to go with this brighter red. Okay, and I am going to select the whole thing, and I love that. Now, what I'm going to do is flatten this, and since I'm using the clear Sublimation HTV, but I also still know that I want my image to be right at 11.413, so I'm still going to change that 11.413. Because adding that offset actually made the whole thing bigger, right? So 11.413, I'm going to click unlock and by 5.248. Okay, and I can lock this back now. Now I'm going to add an additional offset because I'm using the clear Sublimation HTV. So I am going to add an offset to this, and that offset is not going to be at 0.10. This offset is actually going to be at 0.05. I want a very, very, very thin offset, just like that. Okay, and I'm going to click apply. And this offset, even though it's black, I'm actually going to change it to white, and I'm going to change it from a print then cut to a basic cut. Okay, because the clear Sublimation HTV is actually heat transfer vinyl. It's not going to be a print then cut. Now, when I look at this, I can see that this looks like it is sliced, and I definitely don't need it to be sliced. I need all of these letters to be on top of this, just like this. So I need to, let me contour this and see if there's anything I can do to make sure that it is completely filled in. Okay, I want it just like that. Okay, so what I did is just filled in the letters. Okay, and close that out, because once I lay this down on my shirt, now this part right here, I definitely don't need that. Let me click in there again, and let me just see. I do want that. Let me see what that is. Okay, let me close that. That'll be white. Do I want that to be white? Let's see, let me look at that again. Let me click contour. Okay, let me close that out. Okay. I want this to be like that. All right, so now I am ready to click make it, because what what I'll have is my print then cut, and then I will also have my basic cut. Okay, so I am going to click make it, It's going to let me know that I need a larger mat, and it's also going to change my material size to 11 by 17. Now I don't need 11 by 17 because I can actually do this with 8.5 by 14 paper, and I am going to go ahead and mirror this here, and I'm also going to mirror this here. Okay, so I want to click OK, and what I'm going to do now is click continue. I am going to click send to printer. I'm going to navigate to my Epson EcoTank 2760 series printer. I'm going to turn the ad bleed off. I don't need it for this. I'm going to turn the system dialog on. Using system dialog brings up your printer settings. Okay, I'm going to click print. Okay, and when my printer settings come up, I'm going to click preferences, and what I'm going to do is my sublimation preset with the mirror off. Okay, and I definitely need to change my paper size. So right here where it says document size, I'm going to select 8.5 by 14 legal. All right, and all of my other settings are correct. If I go to more options, document size is 8.5 by 14. My mirror image is off. Okay, I'm going to click main, and I'm going to do a print preview. I'm going to click OK. Once I click print right here, nothing is actually going to print. What is going to happen is my print preview is going to show up. Okay, here's my print preview, and I can see that my letters here match my preview over here, and that's exactly what should happen. What is here should match what's here. If you ever get to this point and it's not in the same direction, make sure it is. Okay, so everything that I'll do from here will be back on the camera. The paper that I'm using is this A-Sub 120 gram 8.5 by 14, and I'm using my Epson EcoTank 2760 series. It has the A-Sub on the back. I'll stick this paper in and get this printed. I'll speed this part up. While I have my image sitting on the heat plate, I am going to allow my Cricut to cut the clear sublimation HTV. It is on the mat with the shiny side face down. The white side is face up. I'm going to put this in my Cricut Explorer Air 2. This is just one sheet. And then I'm going to remove the image and I'll place it on this second long standard grip mat. I have my clear sublimation HTV cut out. I'm going to weed this. I'm going to let my Cricut cut this, my image. Last time, if you saw my previous video, I cut it out by hand just by removing the registration marks. I'm not going to do that this time. I want a more exact cut, so I'm going to let my Cricut cut this. Now I'm going to remove this. I let my Cricut cut this, and I can look at this and tell that I definitely need to calibrate my Cricut, but I will worry about that for another day. But I do feel like I still got a good cut. My cut setting for this was infusible ink transfer. So this is what it looks like. Let me grab the other piece, the V and the E. Okay. All right, so now I have my heat press heating up to 311 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the same thing as 155 degrees Celsius. Let's move over to the heat press. I have my shirt folded in half so that I can get a crease down the middle. Having the crease down the middle lets me know where to center my shirt or my image. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I do have my heat press set to heavy pressure. I have a crease down the middle. All right, now I am going to grab the Clear Sublimation HTV. All right, I have my Clear Sublimation HTV. I'm going to just place it in the middle about 3 finger lengths from the collar. Okay, right there looks about right to me. It looks straight. And I am going to use parchment paper on top. Okay, and I'm going to press this for 10 seconds. All right, the clear Sublimation HTV is a cold peel, so I'm going to let this cool off completely, and I'll come back and peel away the backing. All right, this has completely cooled down. I had to increase the temperature on my heat press because remember, with this product, you go from 311 degrees to 392 degrees. So I increased the temperature. Now I'm going to remove the backing. And the cold peel is kind of scary sometimes, but don't be afraid. All right. Now I am going to very, very carefully place my letters, the L and the O. You can see it's not cut out very well, but hopefully the offset will cover that up. All right, hopefully. I think it will. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be fantastic. All right, I'm going to use a few pieces of heat resistant tape. All right, now I'm going to place a piece of butcher paper on top to protect my heat press from getting any ink. And we will press this for 45 seconds with heavy pressure. All right, the moment of what? Truth. There isn't anything on here that's a little bit scary. But we shall see. We shall see how this goes. All right. Let's see. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit nervous. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, I'm going to keep my composure. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, Delonda, calm down. Oh my gosh. Okay. You already know what I'm going to say. You already know what I'm going to say. You already know I'm going to say I love it. You already know I'm going to say I love it. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love. Look at this. Look at this. Look. Okay. I love it. And hopefully you do too. If you found this tutorial helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Now, I know you're wondering, how does it hold up in the wash? I have done a wash update on this process, and I will leave it as a pinned comment below this video so you can see that. All right, hopefully you found this helpful. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye.